Hi. So I feel like I'm going to explain myself before I go into the video. So for one, I'm not tribalistic, but I've made myself very clear that I'm an AEW fan, and I'm not really a fan of WWE. Two, if you read the bio on whatever platform you're watching, it does say I'm a fan of good professional wrestling. And three, it's a hot topic that hasn't left my mind. And I just kind of wanted to talk about it rambling style. Even though I'm not a fan of the Federation and WWE as a whole, I have a few wrestlers in there that I do obviously like. And being a lad of my age, mid-20s, I obviously brought up on John Cena. Even though I wasn't a true wrestling fan back then, I've always admired John Cena, even as a kid. When I had a brief spell with wrestling, everything, I've always admired John Cena. I always loved John Cena. It's a big moment for everyone in wrestling. It's a big moment for the world of wrestling, really, regardless what avenue you prefer. And yeah, a lot of people will kind of be like, I don't, whatever their feelings are. But it's a big deal what happened at him retiring. It's a big deal. And I don't want to have this video specifically go on about my opinions on him and stuff, because I'd be sitting here all day. I do have a lot of time for John Cena. I really got to make that clear. But I'm not a fan of the company. Definitely not a fan of the company. I mean, Brock Lesnar's back, and that just says it all. But also, like I said, there's talent in there that I like, and one of them is Gunther. I've seen Gunther's work on the indies. Not live, but I've seen a few matches going back, and, when I got into wrestling, properly, WWE was a part of that, and Gunther was a mainstay. I'm a fan of Gunther. I think I'd kill for Gunther in AEW. I think he's a phenomenal wrestler. I think everything about the guy screams fine-tuned. The only problems I've really had with him I don't watch WWE, I've got to make that clear. It's the first match I've watched the WWE for months and months. And I'll see clips, obviously, on the phone, like on social media, like people do. And I did manage to sit down and watch this match in Cardiff for the morning because it was a big deal. I was intrigued. I'll never deny that. And then I've seen the outpour from the result. The match was fine. The match cut itself off, which is that's just WWE matches. I don't go into WWE expecting masterful in-ring work. I don't, and I never will. Especially, there's a lot of talent in there I respect and I like, but I think how they run their programming and stuff, I don't expect the in-ring product to be great. I don't expect most aspects of the company's work to be great at the minute, from what I've seen. But Gunther's one of the few exceptions. He can make most things work, and obviously John Cena's the same. He's been doing that for how many years now? So, the match, I thought, it was just kind of there was no sprint in it. It was just teasing something that didn't happen. And the result is fine. The result's the right way to go. I understand there's people who aren't a fan of it, but I think those people who are not a fan of it are a fan of John Cena and not a fan of wrestling. Because John Cena's whole career, you look, early days, he was doing the rap stuff. He's obviously been acting now, stuff like that. He's been doing acting for a few years. He's grown his star beyond pro wrestling. That's one of the reasons he's retiring. But the guy is a multimedia icon now, not just pro wrestling. So you've got all people coming from different avenues. People fan of his acting, people fan of his music from only one album. But, stuff like that, people fan of his interviews on, like, Kimmel or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, these are the type of avenues you've got to look at. And they're watching it thinking, oh, I remember as a kid knowing John Cena was a wrestler. I remember seeing John Cena on the rack. This is nostalgia. This is ridiculous. They don't understand the pro wrestling business. And, yeah, my opinion is you can't have people win retiring matches. Look at Sting. However, Sting was a huge derailing for a lot of people. And I do think that John Cena could have had the win. I think it's a lot more intriguing that he didn't, though. I feel like that was the choice I would have went with. As much as I thought they were going to have him win. Personally, I thought that's the way they were going to do it. But I think, personally, just the reaction of it, I really want to talk about. The reaction to this is insane to me. I think the amount of people, it's phenomenal. It's MJF in Mexico level compared to those guys. The MJF stuff's miles better, obviously. But I love it. I can't not love it. I love everything about it. I love the fact that, one, he made him tap. Two, it's Gunther. I'm happy that it's Gunther, a guy like that. And there's a lot of other complaints you can make about stuff in, like, regarding this. If you can dare, like, complain and, like, throw any dismay about Gunther in this situation, you are insane. You don't have a clue what you're on about, and that is truly my opinion. I think Gunther's Gunther's limited by his workplace for me. I think Gunther can come on over to AEW anytime. Bring a few with him, tell a few to stay put. But also, Gunther's a phenomenal worker. I feel like every aspect of his character, his in-ring style's very fine-tuned. His promo work is great. Everything about it, it's just, everything works. And the reaction of him basically being seen as the devil and people crying that Cena didn't win, that's the point. And I'm not a fan of Michael Cole's commentary, really. I think it's very shallow. But the guy comes out and says pro wrestling beats sports entertainment. That's good. That's the point. And again, I just can't believe people are upset about Gunther. Like, if John beat him, that's fine. I see, like, a lot of the problem is that John gave up. That's the point. I feel like that's gonna make that I don't think people realize how big of a deal that is. And there's Raw tonight, so people will be like, "Oh God, the Raw thing's gonna be incredible." Like, I don't really care about that. I'm on about it in its own little vacuum. I think it's perfect. I think the knowledge of John Cena going into it, and then the result of it, how Gunther's handled it. I feel like there's very few guys Gunther could do. The moment where it's stunned silence and Symphony Number 9, which you can hear me playing right now, is impeccable. That's one of the best moments in pro wrestling. If I want to compare it to a retirement that I personally hate the moment of because of who it is, Bryan's retirement against Moxley. It's kind of a different scenario because Bryan's is a lot more brutal. But it also, I get the point that it goes against what John stood for in terms of the never give up stuff. But that's the point. That if you want to look at it from a pro Gunther perspective, which I think you should, this guy's so good, so dangerous, so deadly, so imposing, and so brutal. He's making people, go against what they are. He's the guy he's lifted King Arthur's sword, the sword and the stone, that's him. And I love that. I feel like, I don't like a lot of stuff that WWE does. I'll make that very clear. Again, if there's a lot of people who are upset with WWE and don't want to watch the product now because of this is your drawing line. I'm a bit confused by that. But also, come on over. Come on. CMLL's really good. AEW's like the shit. But Gunther beating Cena, I think the ending specifically, that moment, it's that moment where Symphony Number 9's playing. I love it. I really do. I think that's one of my favourite moments of the year, and that's insane. I can't believe I'm saying this about WWE. I feel like I would have justified that I'm making a WWE video, which is insane. It's my page. I can do what I want. And I think it's as much as I hate to say it, it's good moments. It's good pro wrestling. It's good pro wrestling, end of the day. I think the match is subpar, and the ending, like, the build to the finish is kind of lackluster. But I kind of like that it is, the whole event, the whole moment is crushing. It's a soul-crushing moment. And there's two aspects why. One, Gunther's that guy, he sells that moment ridiculous. I don't want to say there's zero emotion. When he comes out in that match, and, like, you can just exude, I don't like using the word aura, but you know what I mean? Like, the aura Gunther has is professional, dangerous, that type of, he's a villain. Pure villain. And he's one of the few guys I look at like, in any company, and I can picture him up against near enough everyone in the world and think, that works. There's very few people Gunther, Walter, will go up against and it will fail. It's genuinely maddening to me how good the guy is. Again, I would kill for Gunther to get out that company. I would. I don't think it benefits him. I think they will work around him in every way. But if you like to get the best out of him as a performer, as a wrestler, whatever, he benefits in other companies. I'm not even just meaning AEW. I think if you put a Gunther in a New Japan, I think it fucking ignites. Same with the CMLL. I feel like companies like that. Could you imagine international Gunther? That's insane. And against, like, this is the problem with the WWE presentation of Gunther. I feel like this could be part of the problem, is the guy's going up against people that aren't nowhere near his level. Let's make that completely honest. No one really realistically in that company is near their level. There's a few people I'm a big fan of in WWE, a huge fan of even. You got AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Ilya Dragunov, people like that, Lyra Valkyria. I can name you a bunch of wrestlers I'm a fan of WWE. And if you're interested, let me know. I'll probably make a video one by one of each wrestler I like in WWE. But this, you compare, there's much more bad, in my opinion, in terms of work, from what I've seen in WWE compared to other companies. I feel like Gunther just kind of elevates everyone he works with. So the fact that if you can get Gunther in a company which has so much better workers, it works for the guy. And the guy's delivered one of the most iconic pro wrestling moments ever. Frankly, let's just say it how it is. And yeah, the company isn't great. The company is awful, frankly. I think ethically it's disgusting. I feel wrong talking about it and giving any sort of credence. But it's an unavoidable topic. The other reason it works is because Cena's Cena, and what Cena's done in his career, who Cena is, what Cena represents. And I commend that. I commend everything about John Cena. I'll never say a bad word about the guy besides when he, doesn't divulge the certain man who give him his upstart. But that's the reason why he doesn't, in a way. Understanding John Cena's, point is, I guess, there, but I don't agree with it still. It's just weird. It's a whole stupid situation that it shouldn't be murky, but it is for some reason. It should be very black and white. However, I've got a tremendous amount of respect for the guy. One of my favourite matches, honestly, is Cena versus JBL. It's a phenomenal match. Cena versus Punk, Money in the Bank. The crowd for that is incredible. Cena versus Umaga. Cena versus Sabu. There's some great matches. Cena versus RVD, obviously. Cena's no slouch, and I'll never deny. As much as a lot of people can give John Cena a bad name, divulge him, give him a bit of grief, you can never say he hasn't had great matches, because the guy truly has. And in a company that doesn't really value that, it's a big deal to me personally. The AJ matches, you know what I mean, and it's a big deal. And I feel like I'm really happy that Gunther got it. I'm really happy that Gunther was the guy. I watched it again today. And the match itself isn't the most gripping, but I kind of like how it just plays into Gunther's favor. I feel like the match could have been much better and could have elevated a lot more. Cena could have won, stuff like that. And realistically, if Cena won, I don't think it hurt Gunther's stock, because, the guy lost to Mr. Yeet. What's going on? But the guy, you can't, for me personally, Gunther cannot lose, for a good year or two. And again, I don't watch the product, so I don't can really say. But, I don't watch it consistently, bare exception, because it's a huge deal. But the guy's phenomenal. And I kind of just want to, as a lot of people complain about Gunther so far, and what I've seen, and, the situation, which, emotions are there. However, one, this is the business. You can't expect everything. That's the point. The Bryan Danielson moment is one of the worst moments I've experienced emotionally. But as a moment, it's a 10 out of 10. It's heartbreaking. I got to see my favourite wrestler ever, in my opinion, the greatest wrestler ever, go out basically on his back, lifeless, and Jon Moxley snarling him down, former brother in arms. That's soul-crushing to me. Genuinely soul-crushing. Even when I feel like now, I hate talking about it. Makes my skin crawl. And that's one credit to how much I love Bryan Danielson. And two, it's a credit to how good Jon Moxley is. And it's the exact same with the John Cena stuff. Yeah, we all want the fairy tale ending because the guy's basically Superman. But that's not the point. The point is, Superman cannot be Superman for it's the Super Cena stuff I get, but everyone compares him to Superman because of his character. No, the guy's a human. He's not superhuman. He's a human, and the guy's aging, and he's against a demon near enough his prime. Of course, he's gonna lose. Yeah, it's always possible, but it's just I don't know. It's just I don't get the outrage. I don't get the complaint. I just think if you're too emotionally attached and you feel like this is a big issue. Again, I get it from the Bryan perspective. I really do. However, I just feel like Bryan Danielson and John Cena are, like, to me, Bryan Danielson's... I love Bryan, evidently. And I'd never say he's the same level as how adored Cena is. Obviously not. Should be, but he's not. I feel like... And Bryan's shown that, like, horrible side. He's shown he's a prick multiple times. Cena hasn't. So I feel like that's... And again, it's more people from other avenues not really understanding the business going, I'm just going to watch John Cena win. You know, I'm going to come in and watch John Cena. Like, it's... You know when you have, like, a sporting event and someone not interested, but it's so big, like a Conor McGregor thing, where it's like, oh my God, it's so big. Conor McGregor versus Mayweather, you don't have a clue. People don't have a clue about it, but they'll still watch it. That's exactly what John Cena's retirement match is. So you got people complaining and outrage for them when they really just go, oh, well, he didn't even win. What was even the point? Like... That wasn't made for you, and I kind of respect that it wasn't made for them. But then, on the other side, those people who aren't interested in the business, like us, you know, for betterment of them, will know Gunther for the rest of their lives. And that's, for me, the moment. And honestly, to me, a big thing about it is the iconography of everything. They'll never listen to Symphony Number 9 ever without thinking of Gunther's just like imposing figure, snarling, cheering, saying to John Cena, give up, and making John Cena tap. That's, oh my God, it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal moment. I hate giving them credit. I do. I really do. I think ethically they're disgusting. But the moment is phenomenal. And if people can't really appreciate that, can't really appreciate Gunther's entire just basic beauty of just his masterful work, I mean, what are we doing? Why is this an issue? Why is this a complaint? The guy is phenomenal. Honestly, if you don't want Gunther in your company, what is wrong with you? It's not for you. Pro wrestling is not for you if you don't want Gunther in your company. That is a benefit. If that's, frankly, that's like going, oh yeah, I don't want that. I've won the lottery, but I don't want it. I don't want the winning lottery ticket. I want to throw it away because it's just going to do me head in. Like, what are you on about? The guy is a 10 out of 10. He's phenomenal. This is my opinion, once in a generational performer. If you don't want him, I'll happily take him for an AEW. Happily. Are you insane? Of course I would. I can't believe this is a debate. I can't believe this is a discussion. I've talked for 17 minutes, nearly 18 now, about how much Gunther's been getting stick. What are we doing? It's one of the best moments I've seen, especially from the shit show that is the company. Oh, sorry, it should have been Brock, yeah. Oh, God, Vince should have come back too. Oh, God, yeah. What, John Laurinaitis should have come back? Oh, my, of course. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, you seen Elias and thought Elias should have been in the last match? What are you on about? If you genuinely have these opinions, the fact that people cheered, I don't want to go into all the stuff after it, but the fact people cheered We Want Vince is actually... hand on heart, disgusting. It's disgusting and vile. It's disgusting. And, like, frankly, if you're saying that, I don't want to interact. I don't. I think it's just wasted breath. Frankly, just ranted, but look, I'm a big fan of Gunther, a big fan of John Cena. John Cena's been one of the heroes for a lot of my generation, especially my era growing up. John Cena debuted when I was born. So, I have that I got that heroism image of John Cena. But I still will never deny it. As a fan of pro wrestling, it is the greatest art form. My opinion, one of the greatest art forms in the world, if not the greatest. The evolution of theatre that it is. It's one of the greatest moments this year. And it's going to be a pivotal moment in all of the history because of the size of the company, the size of John Cena, and frankly, the eventual star growing that is Gunther. And the fact that people can't really see that, to me, just screams, this ain't for you. But if you genuinely have complaints about the moment, please let me know, because I'm genuinely intrigued why. Because I cannot see how this moment is bad in any way. I don't. The match itself, you want to complain about the match and not having real payoff, that's fair enough. But I feel like that's a matter of perspective. I think, like, again, I don't go in expecting a crazy match, but I go in and I seen an aging human finally resting on the Shield, who's been fighting for how many years? 23 years, and finally had to give up. And, like, that's the beauty of it. There's one, just Colossus made him give up. A guy who prided himself on never giving up. That's on it. It's beautiful. Honestly, I hate using such emotive language, but it's true. It's truly beautiful to me. But yeah, let me know what you think. In a way, I'm sorry to people who like follow and stuff, me making a WWE video, but also I don't care. Like, I'm not a fan of the company. It won't be a regular thing, but like, I'm sorry if you don't think I'm ever making a video on AJ Styles. I mean, come on.